Welcome.
It's so bright out here.
I'm
I
Curmudgeon.
don't know how you stand it.
Actually, you're sort of a female curmudgeon, aren't you? Although if I'd been locked away as long as you were, I'd be pretty curmudgeonly myself. Okay, well now where in the heck are we going? Locate Ariel's bow. We're gonna go to Darkfall Cave. And we'll start there at Deep Folk Crossing. Yes. And it's just right over there. Hop, skip, and a jump, as somebody used to say, or a whole bunch of somebodies.
Who's there? I knew I was crazy.
You're curious there, Serrano. Being a daughter of vampire royalty, you're probably not much into the manual work, are you? Being born of good peasant stock. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Both of my parents are educators. My father was a school principal and my mother was a teacher. However, they themselves were from peasant stock. Okay, here we go. Here's where the adventure starts. Starts, I should say.
Where'd you come from?
We have whoa.
Who's there? Now I'll teach you.
I was saying my mother was raised on a tobacco farm. Well, tobacco and peanuts. And my father, his father was a delivery man for Peter E. Buck Hardware Store in Ashland, Pennsylvania. In Ashland?
These people. Why would anyone want to set up camp here? I wonder what happened.
That is a good question. Sister, I know that you'll come find me, but it will be too late if you find this letter. Get out of this forsaken cave as soon as possible. We were fools to think we could live so close to such creatures and live peacefully. I should have headed back to camp with you after we placed the torches down here. I thought these trolls would be different, that they would somehow understand that we didn't want to hurt them. I am now cornered, and it's only a matter of time before one of the trolls decides to finish me off. I hope it is a quick death. Farewell, my dear sister. Ah. Yes, well. Yes, well. Elixir resist fire. That's interesting. Okay, that's...
have nothing to fear here. I am Knight Paladin Gelabor. Welcome to the great chantry of Auriel.
This cave is a temple to Auriel?
Auriel, Alkosh, Akatosh, so many different names for the sovereign of the Snow Elves.
Snow elves? I'm confused.
I prefer Snow Elf. The name Falmer usually holds a negative meaning to most travelers. Those twisted creatures you call Falmer, I call the Betrayed.
I imagine you know why we're here.
Of course, you're here for Auriel's bow. Why else would you be here? I can help you get it, but first, I must have your assistance.
Okay, what type of assistance do you need?
I need you to kill Archcurate Vertha, my brother.
Kill your brother? Why?
The kinship between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become, but he's no longer the brother I once knew. It was the Betrayed. They did something to him. I just don't know why Auriel would allow this to happen.
So what did the Betrayed do?
They swept into the chantry without warning, and began killing everyone without pause.
And why didn't you fight back?
The chantry was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the Betrayed's sheer numbers. They slaughtered everyone, and stormed the inner sanctum, where I believe they corrupted Vertha.
So, you're not even sure that he's alive?
He's alive. I've seen him, but something's wrong. He never looks as though he's in pain or under duress. He just stands there and watches, as though waiting.
Have you tried getting into the inner sanctum?
Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty as a Knight Paladin of Auriel, and an assault on the Betrayed guarding the inner sanctum would only end with my death.
Way shrine.
Yes, let me show you. This structure is known as a way shrine. They were used for meditation and for transport when the chantry was a place of enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Auriel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center, 75?
Once the initiate completed his mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin at the way shrine's center and proceed to the next way shrine.
So these initiates had them lug around the head of the fire. Marvelous. How long would they have to do this?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the chantry's inner sanctum. Pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the Archcurate himself.
All that just to end up dumping it out? Makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic. I don't expect you to understand.
So, let's get this straight. You need to do all that nonsense to get into the temple so we can kill your brother and kill Mariel's bow.
I know how it all sounds. But if there was another way, I'd have done it long ago. The only way to get to my brother is by following in the initiate's footsteps and traveling from way shrine to way shrine, just as they did. The first lay at the end of Darkfall Passage, a cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment.
How many more way shrines are there?
There are 5 in total, spread far apart across the chantry.
These caves must be massive.
Caves? Oh no. The chantry encompasses far more than a few caves, as you'll soon discover. But before I send you on your way, you'll need the initiate's ewer.
Okay, I just got the ewer, so I need to fill this at each way shrine.
Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral prelate tending to it. They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's basin, as if you've been enlightened.
I'll be off then.
This may be the last time we're able to converse. If you have any questions before you leave, I suggest you ask them. Otherwise, all I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey. Questions? I expected as much.
What is the Chantry of Auriel?
This is, or was, the epicenter of our religion. Most of the Snow Elf people worshipped Auriel. The Chantry was constructed near the beginning of the First Era to provide a retreat for those that wish to become enlightened.
Most snow elves?
Our empire had temples to some of the other deities. Trinimac, Ciribane, Yffrey, and Finister rounded out the rest. But those temples paled in comparison to the glory of the Chantry and its way shrines.
The way shrines are part of the Chantry then.
Oh yes, they were an important part of the process here. They represented the steps the initiates took on the path to total enlightenment. Sadly, the magic used to construct these wonders were lost long before I arrived here.
Who were the spectral prelates you mentioned?
They're ghosts of the Snow Elf priests that tended the way shrines before being slaughtered by the betrayed. Through the grace of Auriel, they were restored to their spectral form to enable them to continue their duties.
Good, they should be able to help us.
I'm afraid in their current form, they still believe the Chantry to be an active center of worship. They won't respond to you in any way other than believing that you're an initiate and you're undertaking the journey to the inner sanctum.
And who were your people?
We were once a wealthy and prosperous society that occupied a portion of Skyrim. Unfortunately, we were constantly at war with the Nords, who claimed the land as their ancestral home.
It appears the Nords won.
In a manner of speaking. We had always maintained an uneasy alliance with the underground-dwelling dwarves, and when faced with extinction, we turned to them for help. Surprisingly, they agreed to protect us, but demanded a terrible price. The blinding of our race.
Everyone couldn't have possibly agreed to that.
There were splinter groups that resisted the agreement, and even some that sought alternate alliances. But when it was all said and done, those elves were either slaughtered, vanished, or gave up and took the dwarves' bargain.
What turned your people into the betrayed?
I've often asked myself that very same question. The blinding of my race was supposedly accomplished with a toxin, certainly not enough to devolve them into the sad and twisted beings they've become.
Wow.
May Auriel watch over you.
What a story. Okay, now we don't get water from that one place, okay. So where are we headed? We're headed to Dark Fall Passage. Okay.
That wasn't as unpleasant as I thought it would be. Kind of soothing, actually. I feel a little warmer now.
Okay, another dark, miserable cave.
Where'd you come from?
Don't worry, sweetheart. I got my bow clicking on all four cylinders now. I guess I should say 8. Don't know why I said 4.
Who's there?
A dead farmer, my dear, a dead farmer.
Who's there? I knew I heard something. That'll teach you. Who's there? I knew I heard something.
Damn it, girl.
That'll teach you.
shot. That's aggravating, you know.
Where'd you come from? Where'd you come from? There you are. That'll teach you. Who's there? Done and done.
All right. We'll call a halt here and begin again to get through Darkfall Passage in our next... Oh, slow down, heart. Good grief.